Okay, we're loaded into the third game of the round of 8 of the Olimoleague number 180. And spawning in the top left-hand side of Simulacrum. Simulacrum. It is Ragnarok from Chivo. And the bottom right-hand side, a face I've not seen before. Not a face. I can't see his face, really. But a name I haven't seen before. It is GyulzzinG. The red Ro8 so far. ZVP Fest in this Olimoleague so far. I'm not sure if I think the last one might be his VP as well. I think there are no Terrans in this entire tournament right now. So rip the Terran gameplay, but here we go with maybe something aggressive? No, I think it's just a gateway scout at this point, as he is going to be seeing it with the Overlord. So he wants to scout very, very early. Now the thing is, we've seen a couple of trends here so far in the ZBP. So all the Zergs seem to want to get a base at 1 minute 50. Is Ragnarok the same, or does Ragnarok break the mold? What does he want to do? Let's see. Nice probe little micro Reno here. Trying to make those drones go to another mineral patch, but no. Oh, I thought that drone was going to attack. No, it's just trying to get the minerals at the back of that mineral patch. The gas is being taken as well as a Cyber Core after Nexus. Unlike our creator of that last game, where you tried to go for core before Nexus and just rush to Adepts. Didn't work out too well, though. The opponent did defend it quite well. Nice little macro trade. Look at that. It's a battle of let me mine. But no, looks like finally GyulzzinG is going to be running away with that mineral field. Okay, well, the two queens finally on the way as well. Very, very standard. And look at that. Not even attempting to go for that 1 minute 50 hatchery. So he's going to be just sticking on two bases very comfortably. And GyulzzinG going for that Stalker before Adept. Looks like he kind of wants to play a la Rail a little bit. And Ragnarok very comfortable just taking a base at 2 minute 30. Yeah, it's completely fine as well. In fact, 2 minute 35 I believe is going to be the timing. It's very close to basically the ZVZ build of the hatchery at 2 minute 35. So let's see how that works out for him, though. Overlord, though, escaping to the high ground above that biodome right there. Ooh, and the Zergling. Is he going to try and sneak in? Yeah, Zergling can definitely sneak in. Before that happens, he was looking for the Overlord with the Stalker, and he noticed it with the Zerglings as well. One going to the natural, wants to make sure there's no hidden pylons he didn't see. And one at the back, spotting this Twilight Council. That's actually very big, though. Seeing Twilight Council first is a huge tell. That means you're probably going to be going for some sort of glaive attack or some sort of roach attack. In both cases, spam that roach button, my dude Ragnarok, and he's going to be all but fine. The only thing that the Zerg can still mess up is how many drones he produces. He's using the Stalker to drive away this Overlord. This Overlord must not see what is going on. He only sees the second gateway here, but not the third. And not ones that are probably going to be placed here at the back as well. But, I mean, he did see Twilight Council. I mean, that's just so many things it could be. And he's already throwing down that Roach Warren, already preparing for that eventual defense. Probably going to cut drones very, very soon as well. Probably around 40-ish drones. This is going to stop and just make a lot of links and a lot of roaches as well. Now, to defend the charge lot all in, you're going to want to have pure roaches. But if you want to defend in a depth all in, you're going to have to have a nice mixture of those Zerglings and those roaches. So roaches are going to be finished here. And he is going to be stopping pretty much at 43, I believe. She's going to go into mass units from here. And GyulzzinG going for a robo as well. But no, GyulzzinG notices that he did get spotted. He's going for a third base at this point. So completely throwing that. And I believe that he did see it. No, he does not see it. But he does see that probe going to the third base. So he can already assume that it's happening. But no, actually, no. He's still making roaches and Zerglings. He still thinks that this is happening. And to a certain degree, it is happening. But GyulzzinG is trying to transition into a third base. He's going to try and get all those Adepts at the same place. But if GyulzzinG loses all of these Adepts, it's going to be very problematic for him going into the mid game here. I mean, mid to early late game. I'd say this is still mid-game for sure. But he sees the army. He can definitely not do anything about it. Probably just going to shade and just threaten the attack. As you do have... You're forced to follow the shades, though man, I would be so surprised if you actually finish any of those. Going for Blink, though, after this. That's very, very interesting. Going for Blink behind it. Okay, so Blink Glaives? That's kind of an interesting composition you got there, my dude. I'm actually curious to try it later. Huh, Blink Glaives. That could actually work. The Blink Stalkers deal with the Adepts very well. And then the Adepts kind of deal with the Zerglings. Interesting. But he's still going to be going for Immortals behind this. So it's going to be Blink Immortal with a couple of Adepts and Sentries against a huge load of Ro8. Ragnarok does have to get back to droning now. He's trying to produce drones and units at the very same time, though. +1 is going to be the choice of upgrade right now. It's going to be +1 melee. And let's see if he goes for any kind of timing with that. The thing with Zerg, though, is that they have a lot of units, but they're very not upgraded, which is basically how it always goes. You can't afford to have that many upgrades. Otherwise, you're not going to have enough army, and you can't stop... You can't stop certain armies. You're very vulnerable during the time that you're actually researching upgrades. Does spot that Zealot is like, yo, I've never made a Zealot in my life. That is fake. It's the equivalent of like a Marine Changeling in a mech army. It's like, dude, it's obvious. It is obvious. Using the links to scout, he does scout the third base. A couple more gateways on the way as well. It's like he's trying to transition to a normal game. And Ragnarok, he's pretty much up to his 66 workers, just like he's always wanted. And now he is going for a little bit of a solar style. We're just going to go Ling Bane Ravager Roach. Except not off 85 drones, but off of 66. 3 workers short from a perfect economy. Okay, taking care of that Zealot once again. That's a fake Zealot. Okay. Okay, is he posturing for potential move out? That's a lot of Stalkers on the way, and I don't know how those Stalkers are going to fare that well against all these Lings and Banes. Full of Adepts here trying to go for counterattack, but I mean, you can't counterattack much when there's no units. Is he following the Adepts? The Adepts can't finish. They are going to finish. They're going to get picked off quite easily here. He's posturing on the side here. The creep is really good for Ragnarok. He's not going to be... Doesn't get that anytime soon. Force fields are going down, but they're getting broken instantaneously by all of the thing. And the Banelings from the back, though, destroying all of the Stalkers, blowing everything up in a massive surround by Ragnarok. The supply dips so heavily in Ragnarok's favor. That was a fantastic engagement, and now he's like, well, it's time for some more Banelings. And the Ro8 and Bane train is... just keeps on happening. More Banelings on the way. He's going to keep morphing them as he goes. Even more here. It's going to be waves and waves of Banelings over and over and over again. And now he smells blood in the water. He has killed so much of the army. And the Blink Stalker is not very good against all of these Banelings and all of these Lings as well. And he's going to be taking care of that very nicely. He's bashing onto the front door of GyulzzinG. And all these Banelings are going to just bust through the front, taking care of all the pylons, depowering everything. Even killing the Cyber Core potentially. And once that Cyber Core finishes, so that's GG. And Ragnarok takes game number 1. Hot damn. GyulzzinG, though, a little bit of a cheeky composition, I'm not gonna lie. Going for Adept Stalker Immortal is... I mean, Ling Bane counters that very easily. Now, Lings, maybe not. Maybe Ling Ro8 doesn't. But the Bane and the Ravagers do 100%. As the Ravagers do not take that extra damage from the Stalkers, just like Ro8s do. And the Banelings take care of Adepts so well. So versus, Ro8 Ling, I could see it. But nobody goes for pure Ro8 Ling anymore. You always add those Ravagers. You always add those gas units in there. So Banelings and Ravagers. And I'd say even adding on Banelings and Ravagers pretty much brings that army up to like tier 2, I'd say. For sure. For sure. We'll learn to game number 2 here between these two players. The Olimoleague number 180. I said that at the beginning of the series, but I'm going to say it again. Fuck it. In the top left-hand side, in the red, He's down 1 game. Can he bring it back, though, on Triton? It is GyulzzinG. And in the bottom right-hand side, in the blue, it is a, I think, multiple Olimoleague champion. If I do recall, it is Ragnarok from Chivo. You know what I haven't seen in a while? Cannon rushes. I want to see cannon rush, dude. No. Too risky, Koreans. They're too noble. They will go for that 3 base target every time, and you can't stop them, even if you tried. Triton, though. Such a beautiful map. I love ice maps. Ice maps are so cool. Especially like half ice maps, kind of like Frost. Those are like kind of like semi-winter maps. Sometimes you get like full-on fledged frozen maps like Frozen Temple, but this is so nice. I mean, this floor is completely frozen, but I kind of like it. It's not all ice, right? There's like some platforms here with a little bit of snow. I'm just a map nerd, to be honest. Totally a map nerd. It's fantastic. GyulzzinG gonna be going for that center expand as well. And we'll see if he's still... He noticed that... I don't know if he thinks that he can actually outplay Ragnarok here. He did go for the Twilight Council, which was scouted. I think that's the main problem with GyulzzinG's build, is that it was scouted immediately. And that, I think, is the main problem that happened last game. So, you know, Ragnarok was able to respond properly with a lot of roaches very, very fast. And, I mean, it's very, very hard to transition out of glaives. As it is an investment not only in the upgrade, but also in the units. And those units become so useless, besides, like, for timing attacks. So, like, yeah, it's just so hard to transition out of it. You can transition out of Twilight in general. Like, you can transition out of Blink, out of Charge, as those units still kind of stay relevant throughout the course of the game. But, I mean, Adepts, I mean, besides the timing, the Adepts are pretty much useless in this matchup. Actually, Adepts are useless in every single matchup other than timings. There's a lot of Adept timings in PvP, in PvT as well. Less so in PvT, though. And in PvZ as well. But aside from that, I mean, that's pretty much it. Once that Adept attack kind of fades, that's pretty much game from there. I mean, not game, but it's just so hard to do anything else from there. As you got a bunch of units you don't need, or a bunch of units that you lost, that's even worse, that you don't need. That didn't work, and you invested in an upgrade and a tech path also. Not just the upgrade, but the tech path as well. So yeah. Yeah, Stargate is going to be the tech of choice of GyulzzinG, of course. Can't blame him there at all. And, is he going to be going for the Phoenix or the Oracle first? That is always the question. Oh man, that Overlord is scared of nothing. He's just like, yo, sup? And he's going to go for the Phoenix first. Going to want to clear out some vision. Maybe going for an Oracle afterwards. That Adept just scouting what is up. Going back to the middle. Touching that Watchtower and seeing nothing crazy is going on as well. Ragnarok didn't take that base. Kind of relatively late as well. So I believe that's standard 2-minute 35 base. There's nothing too crazy right now. Going for a Ro8 behind it as well. It's just a singular Phoenix as well. I think he wants to fake the fact that he's going for Stargate. Forcing out the Spore Crawlers is going to be making one Oracle behind this just for general detection and third base defense. But after that, just going into Robo pretty much directly. Is he going to go for an Archon drop? Not too sure yet. The Twilight Council has not been dropped so far. So that's not a plan he can do quite yet. Twilight Council is being dropped right now. Looks like this is the timing for it. As soon as this finishes, he's going to start chrono boosting out that Warp Prism, and by the time that finishes, well, he's going to have his Templar Archives already done. Couple of devs here trying to get a couple drones. Gonna get a Zergling and a drone, I believe, and that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Man, GyulzzinG is still not going for a third base so far. He's actually using that offensively. Not going to get anything at all. Now, you can counter one queen with this, as the Spore Crawler will aggro the Phoenix first, and then you can do a couple of drone kills from there. But with two queens now, that's another story. You would need two Spore Crawlers. Third base finally being taken to 5 minutes by GyulzzinG, a little bit late, but it is his plan after all. He did invest in a lot of tech, and that's going to probably advantage him in the long run. But right now, the third base is going to be the priority for GyulzzinG to try and expand and go into the later part of the game. I'm not sure that Adept is quite tight here into the hole. Okay, it is now. It is now. Twilight Council is finished at this point. Where is the Warp Prism? Oh, Warp Prism rests that right there. Perfect timing. But, ooh, not enough. Not enough right there quite yet. There you go. 1 and 2. There you go. Archon drop. Excellent. Does he have the roaches, though? Looks like he does have the roach warren. Does he have any roaches, though? He has no roaches. Has a lot of coins. And as I said, yeah, there was a hole there. He was not standing guard quite well. Is that Adept? And now these just walk into the main base. Get kind of more probes than they probably should. Gonna be targeting down a couple more probes if they can. But now the Archon drop is in the main base. And it's going to be a little bit difficult to defend. The roaches are now on the way, though. Trying to get as many shots as he can on that Warp Prism. It's really, really important. Ooh, ooh, ooh. If he loses that, that's going to be so bad. You have to be careful, though. Those Hydras kind of came out of nowhere. That was very, 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 very close. If he loses that, that's kind of game immediately. GyulzzinG going to try and transition to Storm, as well as +1 and some Immortals as well. Where's, yeah, did I say GyulzzinG? Yeah, I hope I said GyulzzinG. Ragnarok is the Zerg player here. Indeed. All right. The Hydralisks, I think, no, it's not Groove Spines. Is it Groove Spines? What's it called? I can't tell. God damn, I think it's Grooved Spines. Or Groomed Spines? I don't know. I don't know. I need to check that once again. But it's the +1 range upgrade. So that will allow you to take fights much easier and also allow, you know, the Hydras to attack from behind the roaches, which is actually really big. It's a big deal when you're engaging. Offensively, of course. I think defensively, getting the speed first is pretty good. But I mean, they kind of make up for it altogether. +1 missiles is on the way as well. Ragnarok has a lot of vision on the map. There's nothing he doesn't see except this entire right side of the map, which is fine though. He's seeing pretty much everything else except that. And he's gonna have Phoenix just I mean, I don't know if he's afraid of Terran drops right now, but he's using that Phoenix to scout right there. That's a massive Roach Hydra attack right now coming across the map. I'm not sure if he can defend this properly. I mean, does have... I believe he has Storm. Doesn't have any High Templar, though. Nice force fields trapping a couple of the Roaches. The Hydra's in the back with that +1 range, allowing them to attack from behind the Roaches. Is going to help out a whole bunch. He does have High Templar. He doesn't have any Storm, though. He doesn't have any ready with Storm. Oh, no. Wow, he actually corrosive biled that, whatchamacallit, the Stasis Ward. The shield batters are helping a lot in this fight, though. That Archon is still going to do it down eventually. Nice flank with the Immortal and the Zealot, and I think he might actually hold this. Oh, that's a massive biles onto the Sentries as well. And picking up those Archons, making sure he doesn't lose them. And that's a fantastic defense by GyulzzinG so far. Well, but the reinforcements are coming across the map, though, and that's a lot of Ling Roach on top of that. He's going to have to keep strong here if he wants to defend. He needs more Archons and more of everything, and Ragnarok is not letting go of this offense. He's going to keep on going. More Ravagers on the way. And then he's going to have to do a lot of juggle micro here if he wants to. Oh, actually, one Immortal goes down. He can't afford to lose any more Immortals. Every single one is very, very precious. He has to keep warping in some Zealots. He has a limited amount of gateways, though. That's the problem. And the Warp Prism goes down. The more juggling for GyulzzinG. And Ragnarok is just pushing forward, taking care of all the Immortals, and the Zealots are just in desperation mode right now. That High Templar doing tickle damage, even losing the Oracle to the Biles, and that's starting to be the end here. 2 Immortals are out, though, but they are exposed. Little flank here from Zealots. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. The Immortals doing work. Finally, a Warping comes in. Will defend this. The Sentry's here, too, just to put a random force field, I guess. That didn't help that much. But he's going to be losing that third base. That's 100% for sure. There's not much he can do to defend this. He is forced to pull out the Immortals. Ooh, nice Stasis Ward, though. Actually, block, kind of freezing a lot of the army. That's still not enough. He's going to lose all those Immortals. These are very, very expensive. And that's the beginning of the end. That's a final desperation warp, and Ragnarok takes game number 2 as well.